This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It keeps your vehicle running smoothly and it keeps it from polluting the air. Now at 6, how one man reacted after a vital part of his car was stolen.
Also on this Wednesday morning, he was the most notorious gangster of the Great Depression. A family member wanted to dig up his grave in Indianapolis for a TV show coming up. Why that may not be happening after all.
And on this somber day of remembrance, a change is coming to a memorial here in Indianapolis. A live report coming up on why that change is being made. It is 6:01 here on September 11th. We want to thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Meredith Barrick.
I'm Rafael Sanchez in for Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen, it is going to be hot. It's going to be humid. I just told your headlines, but... But you have so much more to say.
Yeah,
right?
you know, yesterday it was hot. There's no doubt about it. But we kind of had a breeze, so it didn't feel all that bad. But overnight, the humidity's come up. So today, not only are we dealing with the heat, but we're also dealing with that dreaded humidity that's going to be around really throughout the entire day. And so that's going to make it feel at least a little more oppressive out there. So you'll need the sunglasses today with the hazy sunshine once again. I did not check the umbrella. There could be a few spotty downpours around, but they're going to be very, very isolated, and you definitely don't need the jacket today because temperatures right now are currently sitting in the 70s and will hold pretty steady here with these numbers, at least for the duration of the morning commute. And then once the sun comes up, those temperatures should start to warm very, very quickly. So here are the partly cloudy skies for us. A lot of storms here off to our west. Those should miss us. That's the good news, but we will manufacture just a few of these pop-up storms at times, I think, throughout the day today. So just don't be shocked if you see one, but look how quickly those temperatures climb this morning. By 10 a.m. already pushing 80 degrees. By the time you head out for your lunch hour, we're looking at a temperature of 84. We'll talk about the rest of the day for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. We want to get back to I-65 at St. Clair Street. This is where a crash has occurred in the right lane. The right lane is currently closed there. You can see our friends from IFD are on the scene as well as police. So we just want to make you aware of this. People have been speeding by this, so please slow down so these people can safely get out of the way and safely get their car moved. But this is taking up the right lane right now. You can see Indiana State Police just pulled up to that scene. We'll continue to follow this and let you know when it is cleared up.
We will keep an eye on that. We're also following breaking news from the west side this morning. Firefighters called out to put out a fire at the High Neighbor Tavern around 1:30 this morning. That's on West 10th Street near Tibbs. Fire crews say the fire started in the more than 80-year-old bar about an hour after it closed for the night. The intense flames caused more than $500,000 in damage. This is the second major incident to happen at this bar. In September 2017, a car plowed into the front of the building, causing structural damage. What started the fire this morning remains at this point under investigation.
A warning about a crime that's been a problem for years and continues to impact Hoosiers. Michael Grimm came home recently to find that someone had stolen the catalytic converter off his brand new SUV. The person who stole it will likely trade that piece of metal in for up to $200. But that's a lot less than it will cost Grimm to get a new catalytic converter installed.
It's an $800 repair job. It sucks. It's not right, but unfortunately, there's thieves out there, and hopefully the police will stop this from happening.
Insurance companies do have tips on how you can keep this from happening to you. They say you can have your car's VIN number engraved on your catalytic converter. Police say the best protection is to park it in a well-lit area away from trees and bushes.
The time now is 6:04. A hearing is scheduled later this month for the truck driver accused of that fiery crash on I-465, killing a woman and her 18-month-old twins. On Tuesday, we learned that prosecutors added 7 additional counts of reckless driving against Bruce Pollard in connection to the 7 people injured in that wreck. Investigators say Pollard's semi-truck slammed into stopped traffic in a construction zone on 465 near the Keystone exit back in July.
The plan to dig up John Dillinger's remains from Crown Hill Cemetery this month may not happen after all. Crown Hill objected to the made-for-TV project. A relative of the 1930s gangster filed a lawsuit to move the plan forward, but a hearing in the case is not scheduled until October 1st. A state permit says exhumation must happen no later than next Monday, September 16th. The remains from the grave were sent to be DNA tested to confirm if the body is actually Dillinger, as part of a documentary. Today we remember 9/11, the terrorist attacks on our country in 2001. Thousands of people died that day, including 9 Hoosiers.
And this morning, those in charge of the Indianapolis 9/11 Memorial will announce details on an expansion to the memorial that sits on the canal in downtown Indianapolis. And that's where we find our Alyssa Donovan. Alyssa, fill us in on what they plan on doing today.
So one of the main parts of this expansion includes the addition of an 800-pound piece of limestone that is from the Pentagon. In addition to that, they will also announce this morning that they are changing the name of the memorial from the Indianapolis 9/11 Memorial to the Indiana 9/11 Memorial. And the reason for that change is that this monument is for everyone all across the state to come to the Capitol and learn about what happened on September 11th, 2001. The organizers say, like most memorials, the intent of this is to share with people what happened that day. Those involved with the memorial are learning that people who are 18 years old and younger really don't know much about what occurred. This morning, there will also be the announcement of a fundraiser campaign to complete the expansion. The goal is to have the work done by September 11th, 2020, 20 years after 2021 rather, 20 years after the terrorist attacks took place. Those in charge of the memorial hope that the update will remind people of the feeling of patriotism our country had following the September 11th attacks.
One of the things that we're hoping to do with this is to foster some of that feeling and to let people know about the fact, you don't mess with the United States of America. We are together. We are one team, and we're ready to take on whatever it takes to make sure that our freedoms stay intact.
And this evening at 7:45, there will be a remembrance ceremony here at the memorial that is open to the public. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
It's 6:07, and one Indigo leader says he is thrilled with the numbers coming in after just the first week of the Red Line. Indigo says more than 64,000 passengers boarded the rapid transit route in its first week of operation. If you plan to continue riding, there are some important changes that you need to know. Red Line buses have been stopping at all stations along the route, even when no one is getting on or off. So keep that in mind. Indigo says that passengers are now being asked to pull the cord inside the bus to signal that a stop is requested. And there's a new policy that limits the number of bikes on a bus to 2. That's 2 bikes on a bus at a time, and that's all for safety reasons. The Red Line is free to all riders through the end of this month. And for more answers on how to navigate the Red Line as a rider or even as a driver, go to theindychannel.com and watch our special Inside the Red Line. It's a good day, Todd Clausen, to take the bus because it's going to be hot. If you plan on biking or walking, public transportation may be a good option on this very warm day.
Yeah, and I was on the Red Line yesterday, and the air condition was going. It was nice and comfortable there in the bus. So, yeah, it's certainly a great option. It's great to see a lot of people using it as well. Your morning commute, if you're not taking the transportation, you're driving your own cars. 74 degrees as you head into work here this morning with partly cloudy skies. Warm and muggy. The mugginess is the thing you're going to notice, I think, the most as you walk out and get your day started. As you head home, at 90 degrees will be the high temperature with partly cloudy skies and maybe the chance of just a stray shower. There's no rain out there right now, but we do have some high thin cloud cover making its way through the area. But with all the heat and the humidity, once we add the sunshine to the mix here, that's when I think we'll be able to flare up one of these isolated downpours. As this area of high pressure slowly moves to the east, we still have those persistent southerly winds, and that's what's going to bring our temperatures up into the 80s and 90s today. Probably not quite as warm as it was yesterday with actual temperatures, but it's going to feel warmer today when you factor in that humidity. Look for a high today of 90 in Indy as well as Bloomington, 89. The high temperature today in Lafayette.
Todd, thank you. Special skills for students who can use them. Next in Hiring Hoosiers, we'll show you how a high school is giving special needs students a hand in finding a job after school.
And they'll try again to win over voters tomorrow night. But just ahead, we'll explain why there's some things the Democratic Party does not want the presidential candidates to say on that debate stage.
And this is a live look at the crash that we have been following now for quite some time at I-65 and St. Clair Street. Emergency crews are on scene here. There is a pickup truck involved. We aren't sure if there are any injuries right now, but traffic is starting to back up. This is impacting the right-hand lanes, so this is something you want to be aware of if you are headed in this direction. We are going to continue to follow this crash and let you know when things get cleaned up so you can know when your morning commute will be moving along smoothly. We'll be right back here on Good Morning Indiana.
Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
We're taking another live look here at I-65 at St. Clair Street. This is the crash that we've been showing you here for the past half hour or so. The good news is no injuries reported. Emergency crews do hope to have this cleared up within the next few minutes. So if this is part of your commute, maybe hang back at home for a few minutes. Wait until the traffic that is backed up in that area clears out a little bit, and that right-hand lane will be reopened here in a few minutes. Emergency crews hoping to have that cleared up soon. We are glad to report also, once again, no injuries in that crash. Raphael, do you remember your first job out of school?
I do.
All right, I do too. And you might have been maybe excited, a little nervous. It's a whole host of emotions.
So what was it? Because people are now wondering, what was your first job?
My first job out of school was a reporting job in Cadillac, Michigan.
That sounds cool. I was in Yuma, Arizona, where it's 120 degrees this time of year, but we'll talk about that later. A group of students at Brownsburg High are getting a unique opportunity to get a jump start on skills that they need to thrive in the workplace. And our Erin Lish joins us right now in studio to tell us more about Collaborators for Success. What an amazing program there for those young people.
Yeah, it's targeted to students with special needs in Brownsburg, and it really sets them up for their careers after graduation. So the school, they team up with local businesses like Dawson's too, and restaurants provide students like Tyler Burr that you're seeing here internship opportunities. They learn the hard skills like how to wash dishes and clean the kitchen, to soft skills like communication and etiquette with others. Students build their portfolios throughout this time, getting recommendations from their supervisors so they have something to show to future employers that they are ready to work, and better yet, being great at what they're doing, which is what Tyler and workers at Dawson's too already notice.
If you really need to know the truth about these kids, they're awesome. They come in here, they're kind, they're gentle, they're nice, they're great to work with.
I followed the job coach that taught me all the skills I need to learn throughout the years, and that's how I know I'm going to be good when I get a job in the community.
Currently, there are 24 students in the program, and so far 20 different businesses that are now connected to Collaborators for Success. And the students in the life skills and functional skills classes that are in this program can stay at Brownsburg High until they're 22 so they can continue building their knowledge. And we're going to hear a little bit more from Tyler in the next half hour on what Collaborators for Success means to him.
Aaron, thank you very much. He first made news by threatening to quit football over new NFL helmet requirements, and it led to Antonio Brown's release by the Oakland Raiders and his signing a day later by the Patriots.
But this morning, it's really unclear, Meredith, whether one of the top receivers in football will now even play now that he's being accused of rape. A federal lawsuit was filed in Florida against Antonio Brown by a woman who used to train him. The accuser claims she dropped Brown as a client after he sexually assaulted her twice during training sessions. Now, the woman agreed to work with him again after being reassured that their sessions would remain professional. But then she says Brown raped her in May of last year. Brown's attorney released a statement saying that the woman had asked Brown to invest money in her business. And he goes on to say that their sexual interactions were consensual.
Court documents show that a member of Indiana's national champion men's basketball team in 1987 was part of an illegal sports gambling operation. The Hancock County Prosecutor's Office named Joe Hillman as one of the men working for the operation they say was led by businessman Brett Wells. Hillman has not been charged in the case, but court documents say he was one of 7 agents picking up betting money for Wells. Wells is charged with running the gambling ring out of his realty office in New Pal. Prosecutors say he took in $17 million in illegal bets between 2016 and this year.
In our Democracy 2020 coverage, it is now a chance for the Democratic presidential candidates to make an impression on you maybe once again. The next debate is set for tomorrow in Houston. The top 10 candidates will be on stage, and South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg is among those hoping for a boost as he has seen his polling numbers recently drop. You can watch that debate tomorrow night at 8 o'clock right here on RTV6. And then there was this lighthearted moment leading up to the debate. Buttigieg found himself on the same flight to Houston as one of his rivals, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar. Not only that, they were seated just one row apart. Buttigieg tweeted at the airline, "Very funny, United," which then Klobuchar retweeted, adding, "And the debate begins. Good sitting by you."
One thing that leaders of the Democratic Party don't want to hear at the debate is a lot of swearing. An internal email obtained by CNN shows the Democratic National Committee and ABC warning candidates not to use foul language on the debate stage so as not to break FCC rules. The warning comes as several Democrats have taken to using dirty words during the campaign, most notably former Congressman Beto O'Rourke. His campaign even started selling a T-shirt with a phrase he's been using a lot lately. 6:18 here, and a phrase we've been using a lot lately: heat and humidity.
Yeah, and that's going to continue today. The humidity has come way up throughout the overnight hours. So yesterday, no doubt about it, it was hot, right? We got up to 92 degrees, but there was a pretty good breeze out there yesterday, and the humidity was slowly climbing. Well, it's come way up overnight, and if you haven't walked outside yet this morning, I think that's the thing you're going to notice right away. In fact, our temperature has come up 1 degree from last hour, so that doesn't happen very often this time of year with skies that are clear or partly cloudy, and it's really because we have this wind out of the southwest at 8 miles per hour. So our temperatures will hold pretty steady from this point forward throughout the morning commute. We're at 75, as I mentioned, in Indy. That's running just a couple degrees warmer than Bloomington at 71, 72 in Tipton, and we're at 73 as you make your way up into the Peru area. So there's a little bit of high thin cloud cover working its way in this morning. We did have mainly clear skies. So the sun's going to come up with sunrise a little after 7:20 here this morning, and that's going to burn some of this cloud cover off, and we're going to get into that hazy sunshine. But because of the humidity that we have around, we're going to flare up some isolated downpours at times, I think, throughout the day today. We will not see a cluster of storms like this one making its way through Iowa. Ours are going to be more of the garden variety pop-up storms, as you see here on TrueCast, as we go throughout the day, and they really could happen at any point once the sun comes up. The good news is if you do see one, it's not going to last very long, and then they'll start to fade away pretty quickly once the sun sets later on this evening. So overall, the main weather headline is the heat and the humidity. The secondary headline is going to be the chance of an isolated storm or two, but already into the low to mid 80s by the lunch hour. High temperatures today will top off right around 90 degrees in most locations, maybe just a little bit cooler to the north. But while we're not quite as hot as yesterday, the humidity is going to result in higher heat index values later on this afternoon and into the evening hours. So even though the actual temperature is not as high, it's going to feel more uncomfortable. Tomorrow, right around 90, again, the 20% chance of storms. Better storm chances for Friday as a cold front comes through with a high temperature of 87 degrees. That's going to be more of a line of storms making its way across the state. Then we work into our Saturday with a temperature right around 83 degrees. One thing we will have to keep an eye on is the rain chances and storm chances for the Friday football frenzy, the high school games. There will be some storms possible. It's going to be a much warmer football forecast. In fact, the warmest one we've seen so far this year, with temperatures that should be in the mid 80s Friday evening. So your weekend is bright, sunshine on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday 83 up to 86 degrees on Sunday. So it's dry, very summer-like weekend. And then the heat continues next week. Monday, a high temperature once again up near 90 degrees.
Todd, we want to take a live look right now at I-70 at the North Split. This is a different view of the crash that we've been showing you here over the past few minutes. This is at I-65 in St. Clair Street. We've been referring to it in that area as well. You can see a whole host of emergency crews out at the scene. The good news is no injuries to report, but you can see there is a backup starting to occur in that area. They are working hard to get that cleaned up as quickly as possible now that the morning commute is starting to get heavier. So if you are headed that way, just anticipate that there may be a backup in the right-hand lanes, as you can see there, and maybe just give yourself a little extra time as that traffic begins to pick up.
We will definitely keep an eye on that. The trending 6 is next. He may be gone, but his music is still oh so hot. We'll show you how this legend will have new music out just in time for the holiday season. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on RTV6.
930 champion today.
Before you head out the door, it is time for the Trending 6.
The top stories include a new album that's actually an old album, and I believe this one might be right up Raphael's alley.
Okay. My childhood is back. I'm ready to go to a wedding, you know, dance with Prince. Little Purple Rain is always a good thing. Fans of Prince who can't wait for the reissue of his legendary double album, 1999. Oh, yeah. The Super Deluxe Edition includes 35 extra audio tracks and a live concert performance on DVD, all previously unreleased. It will be available November the 29th. If you could only see me dancing right now on the anchor desk. Wow.
Just days before his world tour was set to begin, Chance the Rapper has decided that being a dad is more important. He and his wife welcomed their second baby girl, Marley, recently. And this week, Chance posted on Instagram that as much as he loves his fans, his family comes first. So his world tour will now start in January, except for one show in his hometown of Chicago later this month. So much respect for him for doing that.
Hey, shout out to him. Good job there. It was almost the play of the day. Scott Kingery of the Phillies with a deep fly ball to center. As you can see, Ronald Acuna Jr. Leaps. Gets his glove on the ball, but couldn't hang on. Acuna hesitates after his miss, but Kingery did not, as you can see, he did not stop. He kept running and circled the bases, beating the throw home for an inside-the-park home run. And that is your ESPN report right here on Good Morning Indiana.
And here's your moment of the day. A little boy who was stuck in the Bahamas when Hurricane Dorian hit went back to preschool in Florida this week. And McKay Simmons was clearly missed by his friends. The little boy and his mom, Capron, were visiting family in the Bahamas when the storm hit. They wrote it out at her grandparents' house. And here, quite the welcome home from all these little preschoolers. So adorable.
If I can vote for Good News Friday, I want to see that on Friday with you and Lauren.
And that one with the little toddlers hugging on the sidewalk. Did you see that one?
That is worthy. Yes. I did. That is an awesome video there. So hopefully we'll see that Friday.
Sweet videos this week.
It doesn't happen very often, but happening this Friday. Oh, take a look. The full moon will be the harvest moon, another unofficial beginning to the fall season. But this harvest moon is happening, oh yeah, Friday the 13th. Where is Freddy Krueger when you need him? It is the first time that this has happened since the year 2000, and it won't happen again on a Friday the 13th until August.
What?
That says 1999, but I'm going to presume maybe it's
2049.
2049.
Surprise, we have a time machine. Just kidding. Might be some bleary-eyed Hoosiers this morning, at least if you went to the big Backstreet Boys show last night at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. The boys, well, they are not boys anymore, getting over with the fans by taking the stage in Pacers jerseys. Very cool. A lot of my friends on Instagram last night at that concert.
The forecast.
Saw that as well. All right, warm and humid today. Highs up near 90, but it's more humid today than it was yesterday, so it's going to feel even more uncomfortable with partly cloudy skies and just the chance of an isolated storm. The time now, 6:28. We'll be right back.
Prices at Ross. Yes for less.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6:30, Classroom to Career is part of our Hiring Hoosiers initiative, connecting your kids with future career paths. This morning, we're highlighting a program designed just for special education students.
And imagine returning home only to find, did you say what? The roof missing? Yes, the roof missing. The unbelievable surprise for one Central Indiana family and what they say they believe happened in this case.
And marking 18 years since a day that changed our country forever. The special events planned today as we remember the victims of the September 11th attacks. It is 6:30 here on Wednesday, September the 11th. We will get to those very important stories about how our city, our state, and country are remembering those victims in just a moment. But we want to thank you for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
I'm Rafael Sanchez, in for Lauren Casey on a day that we will never forget. We're also taking a look at your forecast this morning. Hot and humid. It's not giving up.
No, you know, we got kind of teased there towards the end of August, beginning of September, over Labor Day with some very comfortable temperatures. And here we are now talking about heat and humidity once again as we push more towards the middle of September. 74 right now in Kokomo, 71 in Bloomington. These temperatures going to hold hold pretty steady from this point forward now that some cloud cover is starting to make its way into the area. But as you walk out the door, it's not so much the temperatures in the 70s. I think you'll notice, you'll obviously know it's pretty mild out there, but it's the humidity that you'll really notice throughout the course of not only this morning, but the entire day. So we're dry right now, but to our south, there's been a few isolated showers in parts of Kentucky, off into Illinois as well. And it's not out of the question we could see a pop-up shower or two almost at any point throughout the day today. Once the sun does come up, we should not see a cluster or line of storms like that. That should stay to our north. So your morning commute, no issues weather-wise across the area. No issues for your lunch hour as well. Here's your temperature trend throughout the morning, and notice how quickly we warm up. By the noon hour, already up to 85 degrees. Highs later on this afternoon, right around 90. The time now is 6:33. Let's get you updated on the roadways.
Todd, thank you. This is a live look right now from our INDOT traffic camera at I-465 at Ditch Road. As you can see, traffic picking up in this area. We are still monitoring a crash as well at I-65 at St. Clair Street. I-70 at the north split that area. There were a number of emergency crews at that scene working on that one-car crash. No injuries to report with that, but we will let you know when that is all cleaned up.
The time now is 6:33. Our Hiring Hoosiers campaign is all about you. And you know, interviewing for that first job can be intimidating, but students at Brownsburg High, they're feeling confident this morning because of this unique program.
It's called Collaborators for Success, and it's getting a handful of kids classroom to career ready. Our Aaron Lish joins us live in the studio with more on this unique opportunity. And Aaron, you're going to tell us what's helping make these students' resumes stand out.
Well, you know, we all deserve a chance to be successful in the workforce. And in Brownsburg, students with special needs are getting this opportunity. And because of it, one is extremely excited for what his future holds.
I love it. I like working here.
Inside the restaurant Dawson's 2, you'll find Tyler Burr in the kitchen.
I'm learning a lot of skills here.
As a life skills and functional skills student at Brownsburg High, he's part of the Collaborators for Success program, where students with disabilities are connected with local businesses.
Our goal at Brownsburg High School is to make their last day of high school look as close as possible to their first day of life after high school.
Tyler, along with 24 other students, learn soft skills like communication and hard skills like cleaning.
Clean the dishes and stuff in the silverware.
That Tyler knows he'll need in the workforce.
I feel real appreciated they let me work here during the school days.
20 different businesses participate in the program, and employees at Dawson's 2 say kids like Tyler are awesome.
They're kind, they're gentle, they're nice, they're great to work with.
During their internships, they can get references from their supervisors for their portfolios.
Everybody wants to be needed, wanted, find a purpose. All of us do. And they're no different than anybody else that's out there.
Not only is Tyler getting work experience, but also becoming independent and confident.
I followed the job coach that taught me all the skills I need to learn throughout the years. And that's how I know I'm going to be good when I get a job in the community.
So students can get a chance to work at multiple internships, so they have that strong resume to show employers, and they can stay at Brownsburg High until they're 22 if they need more time to get the skills they need to succeed. Meredith?
Aaron, a great program. Thank you. We continue to follow breaking news this morning from the city's west side. That's where firefighters battled a fire at a local bar. Crews were called to the High Neighbor Tavern around 1:30 this morning. That's on West 10th Street near Tibbs. Fire crews say the fire started in the more than 80-year-old bar about an hour after it closed for the night. The intense flames caused more than $500,000 in damage. What started the fire this morning remains under investigation.
This is quite the talker this morning. RTV6 is working to get answers for a Shelby County couple who returned home from a camping trip to find the roof missing. Kevin and Shelly Giles made the unwelcome discovery on Tuesday morning. You can see the extent of the damage in this picture right there. Kevin says he spoke to 3 neighbors who say they saw 5 men working on the roof between 8 and 10 yesterday morning. At first, the couple was confused about whether the disappearance of the roof was a crime or simply a mistake.
Thought someone had vandalized it at first, but then I believe someone was actually working here, a crew of people, and realized they were at the wrong address and left.
I was speechless. I just couldn't believe. I thought maybe they got inside the house as well. Then after the neighbors had told us, then we realized that someone had to have the wrong address.
Yeah, we've been speechless since hearing about the story last night. The couple filed a police report with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office and is in contact with their insurance company. They hope someone out there, if you're listening, accepts responsibility. Now, in the meantime, I did reach out to Mr. Giles. We had a conversation on the phone and via text, and we provided him this advice. We asked him to make sure that his insurance company possibly provides him with a preferred vendor list to get the job done. If they don't do that, I told him to make sure to get 3 estimates. And with any contract of this size, which probably will exceed $5,000, make sure you get everything. I mean, everything in writing from the time the work begins to the time of the wrap-up. Also, make sure to get an itemized bill so that you know what you're being charged for. If you need to see all of these tips again, we have them posted right now on the RTV6 app.
A heated debate continues in Hendricks County over a school district's handling of misconduct allegations against a teacher.
This is not over with. You better make it right. Thank you.
Supporters and critics were on hand at the Northwest Hendricks County School Board meeting Tuesday night. Tyler Bruce, a teacher and coach at Tri-West High School, is accused of sexual misconduct with a student. He's on administrative leave while the allegations are under investigation. In July, the school board voted against an administration recommendation to terminate Bruce's contract. Some people feel that's the right decision because Bruce is not criminally charged. Others strongly disagree.
I support your decision based on the fact that there have been no charges against Mr. Bruce. Not through Hendricks County Sheriff's Department, not through the Child Protective Services.
The ideal end result is to make sure that every child that is going to the Northwest Hendricks School Corporation is safe going forward, and that anyone who didn't follow the Indiana law of mandated reporter is held accountable, because this went on too long because they didn't do their job.
As we first told you, Bruce is now facing a formal complaint from the Indiana Department of Education. The department will hold a hearing to consider suspending or revoking his teaching license. Bruce has denied the allegations. Today we remember 9/11, the terrorist attacks on our country in 2001. Thousands of people died that day, including 9 Hoosiers. And this morning, those in charge of the Indianapolis 9/11 Memorial will announce details on an expansion to the memorial that sits on the canal. That's where we find our Alyssa Donovan. Alyssa, we do know some details of what they have planned.
That's right, Meredith. And at that press conference happening at 10 this morning, we should get some more details. But what we do know is that this expansion will include the addition of an 800-pound piece of limestone that was part of the Pentagon building that when it was attacked. We also know that they're planning to change the name of this memorial from the Indianapolis 9/11 Memorial to the Indiana 9/11 Memorial. And their reasoning for that is because this memorial is for everyone all across the state to come to our capital and learn about what happened on September 11th, 2001. Those involved with the memorial say the plan is to do the expansion with fundraising. The hope is to raise $450,000 to make the changes. And the goal is to have the work done by September 11th, 2021, 20 years after the terrorist attacks took place. The hope is that this memorial instills a sense of patriotism in those who visit. The same feeling of patriotism felt so strongly following the September 11th attacks.
One of the things that we're hoping to do with this is to foster some of that feeling, and to let people know about the fact, you know, you don't mess with the United States of America. We are together. We are one team, and we're ready to take on whatever it takes to make sure that our freedoms stay intact.
And something really neat that's been happening this morning is we've actually seen a couple groups of runners coming by for their morning run, and they've actually stopped here at the memorial and taken a moment to remember those lives lost. And if you can't do that throughout the day today, that's okay. They have a ceremony happening here tonight on the canal right here at the memorial starting at 7:45. That's open to the public. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you so much. A solemn day here in our country today. The time now is 6:42. A plan to build another high-rise apartment building in downtown Indianapolis is moving forward just months after it appeared that that proposal was a no-go. The Indianapolis City County Council approved plans to build a 13-story complex at 421 North Pennsylvania Street. In July, some councilors opposed the project because of the tax developers' requests and workforce housing rates that are higher than usual. But this week, the full council voted in favor of that plan. As you head out the door today, plan on drinking a lot of water. Plan to be in the AC because Todd Clausen's forecast is a hot one, Todd.
Yeah, it's hot, and so you need to drink water, and make sure if you do take your pets out for a walk that you give them plenty of water as well. And here is our featured dog of the day, Blitz. I guarantee the tongues are going to be wagging outside today if you're walking the dogs out in the heat, but he looks like he was having a nice game of fetch there, and thanks to Jeff for sending Blitz in. So here is the forecast for the day today. Hazy sunshine, temperatures in the mid-70s right now, eventually climbing to near 90 degrees later on this afternoon. So actual temperatures probably just a degree or two cooler than they were yesterday, but yesterday we had that nice breeze and the humidity was in the process of climbing. Well, today we're in the very, very muggy category on our humidity scale. So these are your heat index values. This is what it's really going to feel like. Already by the noon hour, it's going to be feeling like it's in the mid-90s. By the time we get into the 3-4 o'clock hour, heat index values probably anywhere from about 94 to 96 degrees across a good chunk of the area. And then even this evening, we remain with heat index values in the 80s through 8 p.m. Prepare yourself for a very warm and humid day with just a small chance of some isolated storms. We'll talk about those storm chances coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you so much. It's going to be a family affair at Bankers Live Fieldhouse. And guess what? Yes, you at home, you're invited. Just after the break, we have your chance to win tickets to see Mary J. Blige and Nas perform together this week, right here in Indy. Come on, you're invited. The time now, 6:44 on RTV6.
On a call and be treated with the respect that you deserve.
The House Judiciary Committee advancing 3 gun control measures after returning from a 6-week summer recess. The first bill would offer federal grant money to states establishing so-called red flag laws. The laws allow family members or law enforcement to petition a judge to take away a gun from a person considered a threat to themselves or others. Another measure would prohibit people convicted of a misdemeanor hate crime from possessing firearms. The third would ban magazines with a capacity of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition. All 3 bills are slated to reach the House floor within weeks.
This was quite the scene. A police chase in Southern California came to an unusual end when a man tried to escape into the Pacific Ocean. You heard me right, the Pacific Ocean. This all unfolded on Venice Beach on Tuesday. Los Angeles police were chasing after a burglary suspect, took off through the sand and right into the ocean. As you can see, as he continued heading toward the Santa Monica Pier, the man stumbled in the shallow water, and that's when a group of officers were able to get a hold of him. He was taken into custody as the scene now unfolds.
Wow.
And this morning, we're also now getting our first look at the large amount of damage left behind by a severe weather in South Dakota overnight. A tornado hit the city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, early this morning, leaving behind, as you'll see it momentarily, a lot of damage. Hard to see because of the darkness of it all, but look at there. Several buildings in the city were destroyed by the storm, and trees and power lines were left littering the roadways. The city's mayor is asking everyone to remain in their homes until the streets can be cleared. The National Weather Service will be on hand today to survey that damage. And Todd, of course, we're thinking of all those folks there in South Dakota. We know what it's like to deal with these kinds of things. We've seen it in Pendleton this year, obviously Kokomo. So we get it, and so we hope that they are able to get to recovery and that those folks are safe.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they were under the threat for severe weather. It was only a small little threat area. Unfortunately, yesterday, that severe weather did materialize there in the Dakotas. That line of storm still making its way now into parts of Minnesota. I'll show you on radar in just a second, but let's talk about the big weather story in our forecast, at least for the day today, and that is the heat and the humidity. High temperature today, forecast to be right around 90 degrees. The humidity is a lot higher than it was yesterday. So yesterday, we actually got up to 92 degrees. Today, the humidity humidity is going to make it feel more like 95 to maybe even warmer than that in spots as we get into the afternoon hours. So if you suffer for some heat-related illnesses and you don't like the heat just in general, try to limit your time outdoors if possible here throughout the day today as we deal with this late season heat. So the sky is starting to brighten. You look real close here. You can see some breaks in the clouds this morning. As far as the temperature, we sit at 75 degrees. It's really warm. It's really muggy out there as well, with winds that are out of the southwest right now at 8 miles per hour. So everybody's in the 70s this morning. It's a warm start. We're going to use these numbers as a springboard all the way up to that high rate around 90 degrees. So while we do have some cloud cover out there, and you notice a few showers now starting to appear here on Storm Team 6 radar, some of that's probably feedback since they're just popping up like that so quick. But nonetheless, the general trend here throughout the day is as the sun comes up, yes, we'll try to burn some of the cloud cover off, and we do get into a lot of hazy sunshine today, but that added sunshine will add instability to the atmosphere as well, and that's what's going to result in some of these showers flaring up at times throughout the course of the day. So don't be shocked at some point today if you see a quick passing shower, maybe a very quick downpour and a rumble of thunder. We are not expecting any severe weather, though, in our forecast, and that is the good news with those high temperatures in the upper 80s to the north, 90 in Indianapolis today, about 91 in Columbus. Those heat index values will continue to run a little bit warmer. I think the storm or rain chance will come to an end as the sun starts to set, which is at 8:01 tomorrow evening. Sunset before 8 p.m. as our daylight continues to get shorter and shorter here as we make our way throughout the month of September. Temperatures remain very warm this evening. Then overnight tonight, we're still in the 60s and 70s. So not the best sleeping weather with the humidity and those warm temperatures. We'll just do it all over again tomorrow, to be honest with you. Basically the same forecast, 90 degrees, the chance of a spot storm or two in the forecast. It's Friday, though, that it's a little different because Friday a cold front's going to come through. And as the cold front comes through, it's probably more of a broken line of showers and storms that'll make its way across the state. But the good news is at this time, it looks like most of those storms should be out of central Indiana by the time we get to high school football games on Friday. But of course, that timing could change, and then it sets us up for a pretty nice weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures will be in the 80s with plenty of sunshine, and then it remains warm next week. This is a very warm summer-like pattern here in the month of September. Monday, high temperatures once again right around 90 degrees.
Todd, thank you. We're taking a live look right now at I-70 at the North Split. This is that same area where we were showing you that one car crash for the past hour or so. The good news is there were no injuries, and that has since been cleaned up, so you can see traffic moving along just fine in that area. At 6:51, the Indiana State Police Department is now accepting applications for the 80th recruit class. Applications must be submitted by November 3rd. Requirements include being a U.S. citizen between 21 and 40 years old. You must be a high school graduate or have an equivalency diploma. The department offers a pension, insurance, and right now student loan forgiveness programs.
And all right, you don't have to wait anymore. You don't have to hate me now. Get it? You don't have to hate me now. It's time now for that big RTV6 getaway and giveaway, so you can get away to a great concert. Right now, it's your chance to win 2 tickets to see Mary J. Blige and Nas live in concerts. The tickets are for tomorrow night's show at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, and all you need to do is be the 6th caller, like right now. Here's the number to call, 317-269-1459. Good luck. The time now, 6:52.
Working for you.
At 6:65, rideshare company Lyft says it's issuing an update on its app's safety features. Among the changes is an in-app 911 feature available to riders. The company also says it's creating a mandatory sexual assault safety exercise for driver applicants. Lyft says it's also planning to add a feature to detect unexpected trip delays.
It is back to work this morning for the Indianapolis Colts as they now turn their attention to week 2 of the NFL season. The team is looking to put their heartbreaking loss to the Los Angeles Chargers behind them. Now the boys in blue will focus on their first AFC South matchup of the season against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are coming off an impressive road victory over the Browns. Sunday's game is set for 1 o'clock.
So it's still hot here in central Indiana, but ready or not, Yeah, winter is right around the corner, but why am I even saying that? I'm not even ready for that.
Well, Raphael, that is because with the colder weather inching closer, some of us might be looking for a warm getaway this summer. And here's some good news for you. There's a new option to fly out of Indianapolis right into Cancun, Mexico. A direct flight to Cancun on Frontier Airlines starts in December.
You meant to say Cancun, right? Cancun. The seasonal flight will take off Mondays and Fridays. Frontier now flies nonstop to 5 cities out of Indianapolis International Airport. I'm just going to wait in line for that flight to take off.
I can taste the margarita right now. All right, well, people might be seeking out a nice cold frozen beverage today, Todd, but they're going to need to drink it quick because it's going to melt.
Right? I didn't check the forecast for Cancun today, but I'd say we're probably on par with the temperature down there, going up to 90 here later on this afternoon with a lot of humidity around as well, so it's going to feel even a little bit warmer. There could be a spot storm or two in the forecast today, but nothing that's going to linger very long. We deal with better storm chances on Friday, a little bit cooler over the weekend, but plenty of sunshine.
All right, Todd, thank you. Raphael, thank you for joining us as well. We are back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic updates.
And remember, we are on the news all day long. You can find us on the RTV6 app. Lauren Casey will be back tomorrow, so you'll know everybody's name by then.
Yes.
Have a great Wednesday, and thank you for watching Good Morning Indiana.